So when I was going through my 61 training for my private pilot license, I had to schedule out my check ride 3 months in advance. And some people are having to schedule out a year in advance or wait almost a year to be able to get to a designated pilot examiner to take a check ride. We as Blue Line kind of got ahead of that curve. We have examiners who will come on site for 2 weeks straight and conduct check rides every day. 2 to 3 check rides a day. And one of the cool things also about our training as well is we actually have the ability to have in-house designated pilot examiners as well. We have 2 up in North Carolina that travel back and forth between our Florida location to be able to conduct check rides as well. So here's some big things to keep in mind when you're looking at those different types of approaches. And one of the things that I like to tell people when I kind of talk about our program, how we excel in these. The first is the school's location and weather. Specifically our company, we have 2 locations, one here in Winter Haven, Florida, and the other in Smithfield, North Carolina, which is just outside of Raleigh. That's where I am based up there, but both of our locations are outstanding. They conduct the same training. Next is DPE availability. So when I was going through my 61 training for my private pilot license, I had to schedule out my check ride 3 months in advance. And some people are having to schedule out a year in advance or wait almost a year to be able to get to a designated pilot examiner to take a check ride. We as Blue Line kind of got ahead of that curve back in 2023. And we built up some good local connections with designated pilot examiners in the Central Florida area and North Carolina area and Virginia and South Carolina area. We have examiners who will come on site for 2 weeks straight and conduct check rides every day. 2 to 3 check rides a day. They love coming to us because we take care of them. They come back on a frequent basis. So we were able to build those connections with examiners. And one of the cool things also about our training as well is we actually have the ability to have in-house designated pilot examiners as well. We have 2 up in North Carolina that travel back and forth between our Florida location to be able to conduct check rides as well. Next is scheduling. So not all accelerated flight programs kind of conduct scheduling the way we do, but how we conduct scheduling is we have a scheduling department. So when you come in, even just for maybe a private pilot or a commercial or a CFI or even our full course, your schedule is built out for you. You don't have to do anything with it. You're just here to show up and conduct your training. So we have a whole full-time scheduling department that schedules out all of your training. And what is nice is you're able to see your lessons in advance, almost a week in advance, which is really nice because when I was going through the program, I was able to see, okay, so I have this tomorrow and I have this the next day or the next day after that. So I'm able to kind of build a mental picture of how to prepare myself through the week. So it's not just like, hey, instructor, what are we doing today, right? So it's not that call up like, hey, can you fly today? It's built out for you. And of course, if you have things that come about or we need to work around, we can help you out with that as well. Aircraft fleet is a huge one. Here at our school, we actually just transitioned to Piper Aircraft. We've signed a really nice contract with them where we have state-of-the-art aircraft, Piper Archer TX models, which is the trainer model, and Piper Seminoles, which are our multi-engine trainer. All of our fleet is no older than 2 years old. They have G1000 NXI and GFC 700 autopilot in them. And it's really nice, state-of-the-art modern fleet. You're not worrying about any maintenance or mechanical issues with these aircraft. And we get to a point where if they get older than 2 years old, which none of our fleet is right now, but when the time comes, Piper actually gives us a brand new one right off the assembly line, which is really nice. Student to instructor ratio. So sometimes some of these accelerated flight programs, you'll have one student taking care of 5 to 6 students, which can be very overwhelming for the instructor, and I can attest to that. But for our training, our student to instructor ratio is 1 to 2. So for one instructor, that instructor has 2 students. That allows you to build that personalized connection with our instructors. And then our truth and timeline. So a lot of these accelerated flight programs will tell you, yeah, 9 months, 8 months, right? And I went through the program and I can tell you, I see it on a day-to-day basis. Even if you're just maybe looking for a private pilot certificate that says 3 weeks, we get you done the timeline we tell you. And then career opportunities. If you're looking for the airlines, if you're looking for a corporate company, we make sure to put you in front of the people who do the hiring. We think that's really important. Once a month, we have individuals from PSA, Piedmont, Endeavor, PlaneSense, any company that in aviation that hires pilots will have come in and speak on a monthly basis and put you in front of them. So it's really nice to be able to put you in front of those people who do the hiring and kind of start building those connections, because connections in aviation mean everything. When you look at coming into an accelerated flight program, specifically kind of talking about Blue Line here, when you enroll with us, you'll be provided with online ground school that needs to be completed prior to starting the program, depending on where you're coming at or what you currently have. So if you have a private pilot certificate and you're looking to do our full program, we recommend to get the instrument and commercial writtens done. Now, if you're coming in with no experience, we want you to have the private, the instrument, and the commercial done. Or if you're just coming in for a short course, maybe just private, instrument, commercial, CFI, we recommend you to have that written complete prior to coming to school, just because once you're here, we do conduct training accelerated, so we want to make sure that you're solely focusing on training each day and also preparing for that check ride. And that knowledge that you built up and you took tests for prior to coming to school will kind of come together when you're conducting those ground lessons with your instructor. Once you have that done, you have your writtens done, you'll attend an orientation on day one, and literally right after your orientation, you'll be either in a ground, a sim, or actually flying the aircraft. So you're not waiting around, just sitting, wasting your money doing nothing. So you're getting out there on the flight line or in a classroom and starting your flight training right away after orientation. And then after your first few weeks, you're conducting a few group ground lessons, your flights, your sims, depending on where you're coming into. And then by midweek, you're taking that flight training and starting that one-on-one instruction with your instructor. So we make sure to get you out there on the flight line as quickly as possible. This is kind of what a normal timeline looks for a candidate coming in with no experience. So, week 1 through 6 is your private training. Week 7 through 11 is your instrument training. 12 through 17 is your commercial airplane single. 18 through 20 is your CFI, and then 21, 22, 23 is your CFII, commercial multi, and then MEI training. You're just taking away that private on the top. Your instruments week 1 through 5, your commercial singles 6 through 11, CFIs 12 through 14, CFII is 15, commercial multi 16, and MEI is 17. And to kind of wrap up the presentation here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the benefits of our training. First of all, speed and efficiency. This was a misconception when I was looking into this type of training, is that with the accelerated flight training going on, the quality of the training was going to be cut down. It was going to be reduced. But that's completely false. The reason why it is accelerated is because you're doing it every single day compared to that 61 environment that I talked about. You're completing the same stuff that you had to do. You're not downgrading the quality of your training. You're just doing it more frequently than you would at a Part 61 school and getting through it a little bit quicker there. And it also prepares yourself for a professional pilot training environment. So most of your airline, corporate pilot training, fractional training, when you finish all your certificates and ratings and go off to school, especially the airlines, the way that they train you once you get there is kind of in an accelerated pace. You're there for maybe 2 to 3 weeks doing sims and grounds with the airlines, and then you're off to the cockpit and taking your check ride. So kind of the accelerated flight pace, if you're looking for a career path after us, it will be a smooth transition going to the airlines or going to a corporate company and training with them, because the training is very similar. Advanced training. So you're conducting your flight training in state-of-the-art simulators. At our locations, we have 2 simulators per location. So in North Carolina and Winter Haven, and you're flying really nice aircraft, especially with us, that are brand new, state-of-the-art, and you're not worrying about maintenance issues delaying your training. And then the career advancement. We provide you with the proper certificates and ratings to get those jobs after finishing your training, but we also bring in companies to speak with you, present to you, and make their cadet programs known to you so you can go ahead and sign up with them. And it provides you some mentorship. I've been able to have some mentorship with some people at a few airlines that I've met while going through the program. So building those connections mean a lot if you're looking to advance into a career after completing your training with us. Financial considerations with attending accelerated flight programs. So loans is the typical route most individuals take if they're looking to go through, our full program or start from instrument all the way through. The typical average for, most accelerated flight programs with no prior experience at the moment is about $105,000, and then attending with a private pilot certificate is about $95,000. Scholarships, there's a few options that people take, especially that I did. I was able to build up a few scholarships or apply some stuff that was outside of aviation towards the total cost of the program, which reduced it, which is really nice. and accommodate financial needs there. And then discounts for eligible veterans. So, sometimes, you have that ability to apply some of those VA benefits. Both of our locations we're actually working towards right now. We've made a lot of good progress on that. And yeah, that kind of wraps up what we have talking about Accelerated Flight Program.